broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Like, just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of The Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. We got you for the next 15 minutes or so, and we got a football, baseball heavy show for the people. Before we get into any of that, we remind you, you need to follow The Rome Show on YouTube, on X, and on Facebook. Here's how you do it. On YouTube, head to youtube.com/The Romanellas. On X, head to x.com/The Rome Show 1. That's The Rome Show, then the number 1. And head to Facebook and type in The Rome Show. Head to all three locations. Hit subscribe, hit like, share with a friend, but make sure you do both. A friendly reminder, if you've been an avid listener to The Rome Show over the last year and change, this is our first week on our new destinations of The Romanellas on YouTube and The Rome Show 1 on X. So be sure to subscribe to both of those so you can get every Rome Show every day at 7:05. The Rome Show podcast, if you ever listen to podcasts, also available. Just search The Rome Show podcast. Workout start today for the old baseball team. So we got a little bit of a shorter show than our normal 30 to 40 minutes, but still a jam-packed nonetheless. Buffalo Bills and the AFC East will complete our 7th division in the National Football League, and our 28th team getting you ready for the kickoff tomorrow, Eagles versus Cowboys. We're also going to predict the AFC East. Not that I believe this conference is a hard one to choose, but we'll give you our thoughts. And then we got a Major League Baseball rundown, some playoff statistics, and some wild stats that I found on the New York Metropolitans and their new rookie ace, Nolan McClain. So we'll have to give you those as well. So a fun show for the people. Comment live on the Romanellas on YouTube if you got questions, comments, or concerns, or you just simply want to talk with the show host. Let's get this thing going with 32 teams in 32 days, and we are going to finish off the AFC East talking the Buffalo Bills. We can find our music here. All right. No music today. We'll go with the Buffalo Bills. Here it is. All right. We got Josh Allen coming off of an MVP season. So you're coming back with arguably the best quarterback in the league. All right. And with that, we have one of the best coaches in the league, one of the best offenses in the league, and one of the best defenses in the league. The Buffalo Bills were 13-4 last season. Okay, we'll go theme music from the phone today. 13-4 last season were the Buffalo Bills, and they were a clear and above favorite in the AFC East, which they are again this season. Okay, minus 800 odds to make the postseason. Minus 310 odds to win the AFC East, and plus 375 on the odds to win the AFC Conference, plus 600 to win the Super Bowl. That just goes to show you how much of a favorite the Buffalo Bills are, not just in their own division, but overall in the league. If you remember, last season came to an end in the AFC Conference Championship game 32-39 against Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, and the Kansas City Chiefs. There's always one question surrounding the Buffalo Bills to start each season, and it's, can they get over the hump? Since the 90s, when they lost 4 straight Super Bowls with Jim Kelly at the helm of the Bills, since the 90s, the Bills have been searching for that one breakthrough season. This year, much like last year, it was that season. It feels like that talent level. It feels like it could be there, but they have to break through. In a very loaded AFC, there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done a lot of work that needs to be done by the Bills in order to get over that hump. Here's some other teams they're competing against for best in the AFC. The Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bengals, those 3 teams, I believe, the Broncos maybe, the Texans maybe, but the Ravens, the Bills, and the Chiefs are head and above, head, shoulders, and anything else above everybody else as a favorite in the AFC. Last season, Allen threw for 3,731 passing yards, 28 TDs, and he also rushed for 531 and 12 TDs on the ground. The Buffalo Bills had a solid running game with James Cook, who re-signed this offseason. It was a little bit of a point of contention, but nonetheless, they got their running back signed. He had a solid year last year, rushing for just over 1,000 yards. And if there was one area they could continue to get better at, it's probably stopping the run on defense. 104.5 yards per game, and passing yards in the air. Those 2 categories, keeping the mass amount of yards gained in those 2 statistics, huge for the Bills. But nonetheless, this is a pretty easy breakdown. Excuse me. How good is their defense going to be? Can Josh Allen get close to what he did last year as an MVP? And is anybody in the AFC East going to actually challenge this team? So let's give you our prediction on the AFC East. The Bills, I think they're going to finish at 12-5 this season, not because they can't be 13-4, the same as they were last year. They have a harder schedule. I just think it's really difficult to win 13 games in a back-to-back seasons, multiple years in a row. Not that big of a drop-off, 12-5, the Bills. In second place, tied, I have the Jets and the Dolphins at 7-10. And in the last place, I have the Patriots at 6-11. I think that this could be an AFC South type conference for a lot of these teams from a talent standpoint. And the Bills have a clear shot to get right to the postseason, especially based on their minus 800 odds. So tomorrow starts the NFL season with the Eagles playing the Cowboys. So we'll break down the Eagles and the Cowboys tomorrow, and then we will finish this entire thing off on Friday with the Commanders and the Giants. And then we've broken down every team in the National Football League to get you ready for this season's start, which I'm really excited about. We're going to take a quick commercial break, come back right after this. We got some Major League Baseball for you before this show ends. And a friendly reminder, you want to sponsor this commercial? Just hit me up. That'd be fantastic. Back. That's right, The Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. We got you for the next 5 minutes or so, shorter show here on a workout start for the boys. So we got to get there, get the team stronger, quicker, faster, whatever adjective you want to use. I'm fired up about it. But before we get out of here, I wanted to give you some stats on Major League Baseball, which I think is fantastic. And remind you got to follow the Romanellas on YouTube. That is the #1 destination for The Rome Show on YouTube, or on x.com/TheRomeShow1. Follow us there as well. We have some wild stats for you in Major League Baseball. So yesterday I was doing a little bit of research on where we stand for the playoff chances, and I found a graphic that will help us all see where we stand as we get down the stretch of Major League Baseball. There are at least 7 teams with a 98% chance or higher to make the postseason with 30 games remaining. In the American League, you can see the list right here and where the playoff chances lie for certain teams. The Tigers, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Red Sox, all 98% or better chances to make the playoffs, and they're all playing good enough baseball to do so. On the National League side, the Brewers, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Cubs, and the Padres, all with 98% chance or better. So when you look at these two screens, what it's telling you is it's really the Mets and the Reds for a dead sprint for the last wild card spot in the National League, and it's the Mariners and the Rangers for the dead sprints in the American League. Now, the Rangers, they're up to 34% because of the way that they have been playing over the last 15 games. We talked about that yesterday. Missed the show, Rome Show podcast. We're able to listen to podcasts. The Mets' chances have gone up significantly since they've been playing so much better over the last few days. And the Reds have been hanging on all season. All season, the Reds have been hanging on, and they are trying to make a late push under Tito Francona. So you're at that moment in the season now where you can eliminate roughly 20 teams from playoff contention, and you can really put a mix of 12 into where is this going to shape out. Okay? And you will end up with 6 on each side, 7 on each side, 6 on each side. Either way, okay? You are 3 weeks out. The playoffs start on September 30th, Tuesday. So a lot to still happen. But these races are getting tight, and we're starting to get to a point in the year now where you're going to get this many games till they clinch, that many games till they clinch, whatever the case is. And that's a fun time in Major League Baseball. Then you have the playoffs coming up, all in conjunction with football season starting. What a fun time of year. Let's finish with a wild Wednesday statistic from the New York Metropolitans. During the month of August, the Mets had the best month in history of their organization in terms of runs scored and home runs. But that's not the statistic, okay? Though they had a record-breaking offensive month, the Mets still finished August with an under 500 record at 13-17. You heard that correctly, 13-17 in the month with the greatest offensive production in organization history. That is your wild Wednesday statistic for the people. To add to that, by the way, the rookie starter for the New York Metropolitans, Nolan McLean, who has absolutely just been dominant in his first few starts. First guy, 4-0 in Mets history in his first 4 starts. Here's his stat line, by the way. 28 Ks, second to only Nolan Ryan in his first 4 starts of his career, who had 29. 1.37 ERA, 4-0, 26.1 innings pitched, 13 hits given up, and 4 earned runs. That is an ace if I've seen one. And the Mets trending towards the playoffs that we just saw, 73% chance or something like that. That could be your ace in the postseason. It really could be. Not the wrong conversation to be having. The right conversation is to follow the Rome Show on the Romanellas on YouTube and the Rome Show 1 on X. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, to this hump day. Fantastic Rome Show. Back tomorrow morning at 7:05 with Rocky's Roundup. Until then, you have an electric Wednesday. I'm Andrew Romanella, and